fellow armchair Imagineers, Jack here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Jacob Wile, too. Or Jacob, I guess.
Do the Jack thing? I thought we could be the three Jacks.
This is why you go over things in advance. I wanted there
to get a bit of spontaneity to it. Yeah.
I just said Jacob here.
Oh, you said Jacob?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a play on my name.
Okay.
To play on my name.
This is what happens when we try to be spontaneous, folks. It's not where to come from it.
All right. Take two. Hello. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to the Big Hero 6 Recap Podcast. Together we are the Big Podcast 3. Or for this episode, the Three Jacks.
Woo!
Yeah!
Woo!
As far as I know, my name's actually. As far as I know, my real name's actually the closest to this, to their names.
That is true, Jacob. Okay, guys, I was very pleased with this episode. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really, really like this. It's maybe not quite as good as the first Ant Cats episode, but it's up there for me. I found this episode to be very rewatchable. As a matter of fact, I had some time to kill before we went on, and I just turned it on and watched it again out of sheer entertainment. This was a big step up from last week.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think it was good too.
Yeah, I'd agree, but I thought it was just kind of thought it was fine. I mean, it was nothing wrong with it. Just again, it's no food fight. Obviously, I'm not saying it needs to be, but it was. I don't know. It was okay. I thought it wasn't really
okay. Here's the way I place it. I feel like Food Fight is the closest that we've come to Big Hero 6, the movie. And then we have all these other episodes that just kind of feel like the show, right? It's like its own thing. And this might be my favorite episodes of the ones that are just trying to be the show.
I don't know. Of the ones that are just the show, I really like the Brotillion episodes. Right now, I mean, you take Food Fight out of the equation, Brotillion might be really up there for me. I don't know.
Guys, I don't know. I think this might be a subjectivity thing, but I'm really hung up on the Jacks. I love the Jacks.
Well, the Jacks. Here's the funny thing about the Jacks, Tiki. So, of course, we've been kind of tracking with each episode now. There's kind of an archetypal superhero story as well as kind of a recycled plot line. I say that in a good way, where we take a plot line that our showrunners have done before, but we kind of do a new twist on it. So, kind of our convention here is kind of the sick hero raring to go back into the field story, and Kim Possible had two episodes that had very similar premises to two things in this episode. One with the sick hero premise, and two with the Three Jacks. Because our Three Jacks are very reminiscent of Team Impossible from Kim Possible, which essentially was a three-man commando squad. See, Tiki, the grand joke of Kim Possible, which is delightful, is that I love the continuity on Kim Possible because they revealed like the origin movie that her first mission was by accident. That a guy was trying to type in Team Impossible, and he accidentally typed in Kim Possible.
Oh God!
And apparently, like season 3 or something, like after the movie, they then revealed, okay, Team Impossible was an actual like an elite. The guy mentioned like there's an elite commando squad, and you thought it was like something we'd never seen. Them, oh my God, we're actually seeing the real. Like these giant jacked guys, like one's like a giant kind of muscle bound accountant, one's kind of the team coordinator. They're all like really they're like GI Joe guys on a team, and they're very diverse and hilarious.
Like I'm not like I haven't seen every episode of Kim Possible like you guys have, but that sounds delightful. I do remember the sick episode. I very much remember the sick episode of Kim Possible.
Yeah, like cracking like Coach and Shigo on the side. Uppercut!
Yeah, I don't know. What can I say? The Jacks just leapt off the screen for me this episode. That's why I rank it so high. Like, to me, they're by far my favorite villains of the season.
I need more with them, honestly. They showed promise, but they they showed promise, but not as good. Again, Food Fight had so far for me the best villain. With our kind of our food assassin, if you will.
I'd definitely like to see more of the Jacks though, if they have time to flesh out. I mean, because it seems like they could like definitely be carried to other episodes.
Sure. Of course, our main Jack was Greg. The Jack whose real name was Greg, but he called himself Jack because he's one
guys,
of the
I used to be a super spy.
Not that, Greg.
Hey, Steve-O, let me tell you about my spy days.
Not the universal Greg. I'm talking.
Jacob's so lost right now. I'm sorry, Jacob.
I kind of know what. Actually, I kind of do know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, no. He was the Jack that was actually Greg. By the way, that was a really funny joke. I really like that joke. By the way, his real name is Greg.
That's what I'm saying. I love these guys. I love that they none of them are probably actually named Jack.
Well, I think actually, here's the thing. I think the Kevin Michael Richardson one. I think his actual name is Jack because the idea is I think his name's actually Jack. The girl's name is Jacques.
I think the girl's name is Jacqueline and and she goes by Jack with J-A-Q.
Yes, as in short for Jacqueline or such. And
Greg is Jack.
I love that person.
I do it for Unity.
Yeah.
I said I do it for Unity.
Yes, I love it. He has the pleasant, he has this thing in the field where he's very open with whoever he's kind of combating. He says, well, my real name's Greg, but I go by Jack for Unities. That's great. But I mean, he's Greg, kind of our team leader, kind of our main kind of mouthpiece for the team. He is voiced by the great Rob Riggle.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember Noel from Prep and Landing, the coal miner, the coal elf brother from the sequel.
Yeah, sure, I know who you're talking
That
about.
is him. That's Greg. So a lot of fun, a lot of energy there. He's also Colonel Sanders. I'm not joking. But yes, so here's in regards to the big kind of taking kind of the sick hero story. I love our solution to this episode. So essentially, Hero is sick this episode and he wants to go out into the field, and I love the solution. That's where they kind of subvert the expectation. Where we have a smart, essentially a drone solution with kind of the kind of electronically piloted hero armor.
I was just thinking about my Switch the whole time. What if in 50 years Nintendo had the capabilities to do something like this?
Hopefully, military applications through Nintendo. If only we've seen that in the movie before.
Oh, God. I love the Power Glove Dragon. It's so bad.
God.
I'm sorry.
All right, so just given our title, the Impatient Patient, Baymax, of course, as per usual. Baymax was on fire. Him as the tender, loving healthcare companion, the healthcare provider.
And even when he went to the doctor,
I love that poor Dr. Sheila. Poor Dr. Sheila. She just. I really want them to bring back this doctor character. I would love. I don't know if they're going to do this. I'm saying in the future, maybe. I don't know if they
eventually a slow arc to Baymax being her assistant or something.
Yeah, Sheila taking a liking to Baymax. I don't know. Maybe Baymax helps her out of a jam or something. I don't know.
Meanwhile, oh God. Meanwhile, oh shoot. The fucking droid from Solo. I already forgot her name.
L3.
Yeah, meanwhile, Elf 3 is on the side, droid rights! Respect the robotic unity! You need to show less racism!
Kind of a stretch for a Solo dig, Tiki.
I hate Solo.
Anyway.
I'm
sorry.
Pettiness aside, so yes, our Mad Jacks. That's the thing. I'm kind of, I'm iffy, but I'm more than willing to see where they're going to go in the future because they seem like they have a lot of potential. I just don't. Here's the thing that bugged me about the only thing that bugged me about the Jacks this episode. The only thing was that, and again, it's nothing really against them as a whole. I'm just saying it just makes you want to see more of them. Is that the episode felt kind of abrupt in how they were to feel this elite commando squad? Hey, well, they're It's like, okay, this one hero shows up, and then okay, we're done.
No,
Like,
I hear you. I hear you. That
Yeah.
to tell you the truth, like the episode doesn't really warrant a two-parter, but I mean, honestly, given the fact that the episode ends on probably the biggest cliffhanger that we've gotten so far with Obaku or Obaku, I have
Obaki.
no idea how to pronounce this fucker's name.
I think we're going with Obaki until we hear it said
Obaki?
more on the show.
Obaki? An E at the end?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry.
Japanese
Like an ongoing thing throughout the show.
with Japanese by like Obake or something.
It's like, yeah, it's
But,
spelled.
okay, my point being, like, you know, like we've had this, this is probably the best cliffhanger, and honestly, probably the most interested that I've been in this guy. So I think if this was a two-parter, they could have stretched it out and done more stuff with the Jacks.
Well, you know what's interesting here? Yeah.
I was just saying I agree with. I see what Tiki means.
Right. Well, here's the thing with Obaka. It's really interesting. So this guy's been growing on me. Again, there's not a lot warranted there. We're just getting these little glimpses here and there. Like last time we really saw the most of Obaki we got with.
Honestly, they're kind of playing like the Marvel Netflix route with this guy.
Essentially, and I respect that because we had a neat little tease with him with Globby, and now this is the biggest kind of fullest picture we got in front of him. Because you got to remember, he was so smart in that. Because initially, I was scratching my head at a plot point. Because I was thinking we might have just like, why the heck do we have this episode if they were going to do if Cray was going to get the chip anyway? But then I realized, no, had Cray just gotten the chip, his security guys would have scanned it. Therefore, like the whole plan would have been complete. He needs it in Cray's computer. So Obaki was smart enough to kind of have this whole elaborate, like, kidnap Cray, to get the chip. Basically made the chip, he turned the chip into a MacGuffin when in reality it was a Trojan horse that he developed to get into his system and kind of hack his files. So it's really a clever plan. It makes me really excited to see this guy go up against Hiro Hamada.
Yeah, I agree, Dragon. I agree. It definitely was the first major spark of like, okay, this guy's got like an elaborate scheme cooked up.
Yeah.
It's almost lucky in a way, almost. I think. I don't know.
Obaki, what would you compare Obaki to?
Machiavellian scheme, like this long planned scheme.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's definitely there is a Machiavellian element to this guy. It's kind of cool. Honestly, on grand scheme, I mean, the Netflix comparison is more on the money, but aside from the kind of the Netflix, we're building him like a Netflix villain in a way, like these serialized kind of build until like he gets his big car door moment. But honestly, I'm getting kind of mainly the design too, and just like these well spoken. I think kind of makes me excited for him. I always love this with a character. He feels kind of Rachel Ghul-esque, which of course I love that character. So I'm anything that's kind of gleaming a little from that. I mean, he's kind of has that design. It's kind of like Anton Ego meets a Rachel Ghul almost. It's kind of interesting.
It's kind of interesting to see like
him. Maybe his ultimate plan is tearing Hiro away from the rest of the group and taking him under his wing.
Yeah, they could go the Teen Titans route, the good Teen Titans folks, like season 1 Teen Titans, the good show.
You mean like
Slade did? You're not going to go to Comic-Con to see the screening of Teen Titans Go to the movies, Dragon?
No.
Okay. That's the second time they've screened that movie at a convention before it's come out, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Those poor, desperate people.
Anyways, like the whole movie. It's just like, here it is. Just shit it out there.
Anyway, you were saying
could have had a Dexter's Lab movie, but nope. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anything else?
I was gonna say something, but I forgot after your guys' tangent.
Sorry, Jacob. I mean, there's definitely a lot of character stuff that we can get into.
Wasabi was hilarious.
I feel like we didn't really get a ton of like, oh man, I know so much more about Fred as a character. But I feel like this episode did a really good job of distributing the screen time between all the side characters.
Minimally, but I think the minimalism went a long way. Each character got a bit. Like, here's the thing I don't know if we're ever going to pay this off, but my little headcanon, I guess, I still like to think that Honey Lemon, she had this really neat little bit here where she took. It sounds like it's real simple, folks. I know. I'm just like she just put her hand on Hero's forehead to establish plot wise that okay, Hero is sick and feverish, therefore our main plot gets kicked off. I get that, but I don't know. It's like the way that there's like kind of that softness that Genesis Rodriguez brings to that character, and I still would like to infer that she may have had like a she and Tadashi might have had a relationship, and maybe that's why she looks out for Hero. I like to think that, but again, I don't know if they're.
I've never really heard that before, but I like that.
No, I've told you that before. That if I'd like to think that she, because like she.
No, I know you've told me that. I'm just saying, like, it's not really something that the fandom talks about, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I'd love to see if they confirm something like that. Like maybe like she had like she and Tadashi at the very least had like a really deep friendship or something. I don't know. Like maybe that's why she kind of cares for Hero. She's always mentioning Tadashi, and she's always kind of looking at. She's always the first to kind of like, oh, Hero. She was really excited to meet Hero in the first movie. I don't know, it was really warm and receptive.
The thing that's always drawn me to Genesis Rodriguez's performance as Honey Lemon is just it's such a simple note, but it's the way she pronounces Hero in proper Japanese.
Yeah.
Like every time she says it, it's just like it's such a consistent thing with her character. She's so like polite like that. Also, come on, we're burying the lead here. Those Honey Lemons on that cast are the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet.
Okay, Wasabi.
Yes.
Again, he's not in it much, but I gotta tell you guys, I had to go back and rewind the bit with the computer a couple times.
It's so funny.
That really killed me.
It's just the fact that he just got it, and it's like you have like almost like the.
He's so proud of it. Like, oh, it's so much more than just a new computer. Like an extension of my life.
Like a soulmate.
I gotta say, like the reason why I love this gag so much is like this is how I would react if someone did this to my Switch.
If someone just if a sick person,
I'd be horrified. I would.
I just love the comedy staging. It's like Hero sneezes and you said Wasabi yelp, and then like tries wiping it off, and then just the other she's like ah. And later on, he's wearing the surgical mask and everything, and which is
okay. I just like single-handedly that might be the funniest thing in the whole show thus far.
I mean, it's really funny. I'll give you that. It's probably the funniest Wasabi bit in the series.
Oh, definitely the funniest Wasabi bit. I don't know. Sure. Baymax might have had some bits here.
That's what I'm saying. Baymax is hard to beat in the grand scheme.
That was just like we said. That just the simple timing of it. It just it's something that any tech nerd can relate to. I'd like to point out a minor problem that I'm starting to see develop with Fred in this show.
Yes.
The guy's a punchline factory.
Well, he's kind of always been that.
No, I mean, I know. My problem with that, though, is I feel like every episode outside of Fred's Brotillion, it's like literally he's just like every line is just like joke, jokey, joke.
Well, I was like, it's not far from the movie, though.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that Fred's Brotillion, I think the reason why it drew Dragon in so much is that it showed a lot of potential for Fred outside of just like the jokey Fred. Even though he was jokey in that episode, we saw different sides of him. I don't know. I'm probably on my own here. You guys don't seem to see the issue, but the one thing with Fred, again, Fred does get a great bit. It's oh god, let's see if I can remember.
You mean the bit with the irradiated bee and Go-Go and everything?
Yes, the radiated bees.
So Go-Go basically kind of okay. So the obviously Hero walks in. Go-Go Honey Lemon is saying that oh Hero, you might be sick, and of course Baymax putting this in the play, and after the sneeze gag and everything, then Fred comes in with the like, oh, I don't have to worry about getting sick. I get stung by an irradiated bee once every year. I don't get the flu shot.
Okay, you know what? I take that back. I take back what I said because this does kind of like it's hilarious, but it goes a little bit deeper than just like jokey joke because it is kind of like a sad element of his personality. Like this guy is such a man child.
And then it's just the conviction at which they like Gogo tells him, no, you actually that's a flu shot, Fred. It's not. It's a flu shot. There's no radiated B. And then of course like no, my mom told me like doctor tells me to close my eyes and.
I like how he's so convinced and he's so proud of it. Like the whole process, it's like he's going in to get like the Marvel super soldier serum injected into him or something like that. You know, it's like he is one of the chosen few. Yep. I go in and they tell me to close my eyes, and then they say there's going to be a slight pinch.
That was penicillin. All right. First Avenger reference. Anyway, Jacob, go on.
I think we're saying maybe he thinks he'll get superpowers eventually.
Hey, yeah. That makes sense. Remember, he's dying for powers.
I mean, considering that these two wrote Sky High.
Oh, they did.
And
I keep forgetting that. They wrote Sky High?
Yep.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
I remember McCorkle wrote Sky High.
And you know what's funny too?
There's like this whole slide. There's like this whole slide where like there's like where the nurse is like people fall into toxic waste and get superpowers or they die.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. And funny thing about Sky High too, of course, bearing some it's kind of coincidental similarities to another show that Tiki and I are gaga about, Super Academy.
Yes. Sky High is like the closest thing we have to Super Academy.
It came first, but in no way was it an influence on Super Academy. Like, let me make that delineation crystal clear. I want to make that clear for the folks at home. It's just coincidental, purely. But other fun fact, though, about Sky High, Danielle Panabaker, I think it's a pronounce her last name. Danielle Panabaker, she plays Caitlin Snow on the Flash TV show, and she kind of got one of her starts in that movie. She plays the main girl in that movie, the girl with the plant powers. I'm blanking on her name right now, but that's her. A little fun fact. Okay, but yes, so again, we got a good distribution of screen time and jokes and such. And again, I really like our.
Probably the person who has the least to do, but I like that Go-Go is just kind of like the dry realist in the room. Just like, go home, hero. You look like death.
Yeah, we still need that Go-Go episode, though. We still need to give Go-Go her due. And I have a friend who's a huge Go-Go fanatic. And I've told him to check out the.
To be fair, I honestly like Go-Go in the show more than I liked her in the movie because, as is the case with any TV show, there's just gonna be more of them. And Go-Go to me was the closest thing that the original movie had to a stereotypical character. Not in any sort of like ethical kind of way, just kind of like, oh, she's the punker chick, you know what I mean? But in the show, like I said, she's kind of like more the dry realist than anything else. I feel like they've kind of they've toned down like the punk side of her character quite a bit from the movie.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Really, the closest thing we've had to a solo episode with her was the Mirahara Woods.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that started as a Go-Go episode, but then I just completely forgot about her.
That's the thing with Mirahara Woods. Like, I like the first half of that episode, but then it just kind of falls off the rails once the villain's introduced, and it becomes a mess.
Yep.
It's like if you are mortified with your hair.
Anything to say about Cray this episode?
Yeah, so I like how we're developing Alistair Cray, and I love there's this great opening line, just kind of establishing kind of the dynamic he has with the Big Hero 6, where he's of course Hero shows up to attempt to foil the Jacks at the start, and when he shows up, this is after Cray's gotten like the chip and everything, so we know he's done he basically won like a black market auction and was delivered to him, so he's done something illegal, and you're saying, okay, is this another revenge thing? Is someone trying to get you out of revenge, or are you involved in something, something illegal? He says, no. First of all, that's offensive, and no. So I love it's a recurring thing with Cray, even ever since the movie too. Just people having revenge against Cray, or people trying to get Cray and everything. So I love just the. I love that, and again with the ending with Obaki, I like that this whole again we've set up a little thing where Cray knows the identity, and now that is going to be something that's going to be a threat to Hiro now that Cray's bad security and bad business intuition is yet again going to endanger them.
In some ways, his assistant kind of reminds me of Shigo. Minus the powers.
I kind of get that, but I do like the assistant. I really do like Cray's assistant being the logical one in the room saying, maybe we shouldn't do this.
I mean, that's okay. That's kind of what reminds me of Shigo.
I gotta tell you, part of me.
Less sarcastic and obviously no powers yet.
Sure. A part of me wouldn't be surprised if maybe she was an inside plant by Obaki, I gotta tell you.
I can see that.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think the conversation's kind of naturally run its course. Jacob, you got anything else?
Yeah, that's just basically just there to basically plan, just have someone there for Cray to talk to, basically. Other than that,
yeah.
Okay. Let me see. So, do we want to go through the next couple episodes, like the titles and everything, then get to final thoughts?
Sure.
Okay. Next one I'm very much looking forward to just because it sounds really fun. Mr. Sparkles loses his sparkle. And also, according to the episode description, crazy game show host Mr. Sparkles threatens to hurt Hiro's cat Mochi so as to force Go-Go to join a game, but she is afraid of public appearances, so we might be getting a Go-Go episode.
Hooray!
And not only that, but the crazy game show host named Mr. Sparkles just sounds delightful.
Here's the thing. I think what they're going to, if they're smart...
The funny thing is the description just sounds all over the place, so...
If they're smart, I think what they're going to do is they're going to parody, Japanese game shows.
I could see that.
I've actually seen some Japanese game shows. They can get pretty darn weird.
If I watch Hollywood Babylon, they do a thing where they make fun of kind of the really off base weird kind of elements of Japanese culture in like one of their segments, and I dare not repeat what the segment's called, but let's just say it's you learn a lot, and I would not, if I tried to tell you some of the crazy stuff they have in Japan, you guys probably wouldn't believe me. Jacob might be able to. I mean, he's seen a few of those game shows, but I mean, oh god, you wouldn't believe some of the crazy stuff on game shows over there. Anyway.
All right. The closest familiarity I have to Japanese game shows is freaking the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh yeah, it makes I love that show.
Okay, so
like
episode 11 is Killer App, and where this sounds like a Wasabi-centric episode. Basically, Wasabi and Hiro collaborate on a school project, and, Wasabi's need for order clashes with Hiro's chaotic work schedule, or work style, per the wiki. So, again, sounds like, if they play their cards right, it sounds like we're getting Wasabi, we're getting Go-Go, like, let's see, then Small Hero 1, again, really freaking good title. Basically, I'm kind of in love with the titling structure of, like, blank, blank number. Like, anytime this show can do that, I'm fine with it. Okay, so in Small Hero 1, Hiro becomes frustrated that he is deemed too young to attend a science workshop, hosted by famous alum Dr. Trevor Trengrove. I don't know who that's supposed to be. We will find out. Then Kentucky Kaiju, which of course the only thing we know about that is we saw Aunt Cass and Hiro watching that movie in the last episode.
And it reminds me of Kentucky Fried Movie.
All right, final thoughts on the episode, gentlemen.
Again, it's not on the top of the episode list for me. I think it's like in the middle, if not one above the middle. I don't know. It's like it's in there, was solid. Nothing wrong with it. Just again, it ends abruptly for me. That's the main thing that bugs me at the episode. It just kind of ends abruptly, but we have a really good ending with Obaki. So it picks up with that, but still it's kind of like, hey, there are the Jacks, and then Hero shows up, as a robot, and then it's over, right? I mean they're scared off. That's the end of it. But again, everything else is working for them. So it just kind of ends weirdly.
It's almost like the opposite of like, instead of having too many cooks in the kitchen, they didn't have enough cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I guess that would have been more appropriate for a cooking themed episode, but you get my idea.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, like
Jacob.
Like as Dragon said, I mean, like I wouldn't put this in like near my top ones. I mean, this is definitely firing on more cylinders than some of the previous ones we've seen. So if they keep pumping out episodes and improve and refining their craft, I can definitely see great things in the future for this.
Cool. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine to go against the grain. Mark it down, Steven. Points for subjectivity. I love this episode. I think it's a lot of fun, and I do think it's kind of at the top of my heap for the episodes. Like, Dragon's right. It does have an abrupt ending, but you know what? The ending is a good payoff for Hero's arc, and we do get some cool Ibaki stuff that kind of ends the episode out on. So I don't think it's that abrupt. Like, as much as I do like the Jacks, I am kind of like, like at the end of the day, the episode is more about the Obaki getting Hiro Hamada's identity. And so I'm fine with the Jacks kind of quietly phasing out. And I'm sure they'll be back. I hope they'll be back at least.
I'm sure they'll be back.
Also, really, really quick, I just need to throw this out there. So when I saw the Jacks, I was kind of reminded of the first time that I ever saw Luke Cage in a comic book.
Oh my god!
And that was a Spider-Man crossover. Keep in mind, folks, this is like maybe like 15 years. Like, this was like 2000. You know what I mean? Like early 2000s.
Year of the X-Men.
So it was Luke Cage, and he was just like bursting out of a glass window and basically doing like a Dokes from Dexter, like, surprise, motherfucker. And he's just like, look out, Spider-Man, Luke Cage is coming to get you.
Luke Cage coming at you, Spider-Man.
And then, in the text, it was like all descriptive, like, you better watch out because there's a new hero coming to town. True believers, a hero for hire. And this time he's been hired to kill Spider-Man.
Bum, bum, bum.
I don't know. Just there's something about that over-the-top quality. You know what I mean? Just the whole like bursting in, like, yeah, someone paid to do the mission, and my God, I'm gonna do the mission with style.
I've been hired to squash the itsy bitsy spider. Look out!
Sweet.
And it's just it just warmed my heart because, like, like this, like I said, this is like long before the days of like, the big walking huggable teddy bear that is Mike Coulter. So, it's like
this is like kind of like. Let me ask you this, Tiki: Was he wearing the blaxploitation
getup?
Oh yes,
definitely.
He had the afro and the Power Man costume.
This was Tarantino Luke Cage, all right. This was like the Tarantino Luke Cage that we dream of.
What you talking about, J. Jonah?
All right.
Yeah,
okay, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Jacob and I will be back on Saturday to talk about DuckTales as per usual, and we will be back next Monday to talk about the next episode. And until then, see you guys later.
Magic.
Ba-la-la.
Ba-la-la-la-la. Jack!